Hey, what's going on this video? This is Mike. I want to talk about how Dana White made his millions. And if you don't know who Dana White is, he's the president of UFC, and but he didn't ever start off this way. And he's 51 years old right now. But I want to talk about his journey to where he's at now, and to he was at one time. So let's get to the beginning of Dana White's life. He was born in Manchester, Connecticut in 1969 with a sister, mom, and the family majority they're Irish American. He began boxing at age 17. Graduated from high school in Maine 1987. Started college twice, once in Quincy College, once in UMass, but dropped out first semester. He worked as on the side as a boxer-size coach, workout coach. White spent many years, early years residing in Weir, Massachusetts. He claimed he left Boston to Las Vegas after reportedly being threatened by a monster. Two monsters. He basically said they owed him a lot of money. He made a phone call. They tried to call to get his money. Next thing you know, he said they didn't pick it up. He got a ticket and flew right next to Las Vegas. While he was working, he worked as a boxing manager for Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell, two Hall of Famers for the UFC. And White met Bob Moretzi, the owner of the UFC at the time, the parent company of the UFC. And White learned that they was trying to sell UFC. He contacted two childhood friends. It's great to have billionaire friends. Larissa the Fajita brothers, co-founder of Station Casinos, and former commissioner of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, to ask if he was interested in acquiring a company. So in January 2001, Lorenzo and older brother Frank acquired UFC for $2 million and changed it to Zuffa. And they put him as the president, Dana White. Now, when they did that, since he acquired it, they told him about the debt. They gave him 9% of the company. Pretty cool, huh? Without paying a dime. White said that when he acquired UFC, all they received was just a brand and old Octagon. The previous owner stripped the company's assets to avoid bankruptcy. So much as the UFC.com website has been sold to the company, one of whom named user-friendly computers. Over time, the White, as president, UFC developed into a highly successful business. And from the time he bought, 15 years later, it was grossing $600 million a year. In January 2016, Zuffa was sold to a group of investors called DME IMG for $4 billion. So White owned 9%. Now you can calculate how much that is. So White announced when they sold it, he still gave him the role of the company, still gave him a stake in a new business. In 2017, White announced that he does a Dana White Contender Series. It's available through UFC Fight Pass. The promotion deals with stream servers and license through UFC branded shows, allows upcoming fighters a chance to showcase their talents. Hopes to one day compete in UFC. 2019, White revealed that he signed a new UFC contract with Fox. But back to that, I want to talk about too in the early parts what he had to go through before they started getting successful. This is stuff that sometimes people don't hear about. So I'm just going to talk about the little struggles they had until it started getting mainstream. I remember when I started to watch it till about 2004, somewhere around there. Then we'll stop around that time. All right. So through the Zuffa 2000 time after they acquired, it was shortly right after the UFC 33. The UFC began to slow, steadily rose in popularity after Zuffa purchased due to great advertisement, cable pay-per-view, and home video DVD releases. With larger gate casino venues like Trump Tower Motel, UFC's acquired a deal with Fox Sports Net, the best damn sports show, the first mixed martial arts American cable television in 2002. And then they put the Chuck Liddell versus Vito Belfort in 37, UFC 37. The UFC would get the highlights on this with the greatest bouts. UFC 40 proved that the most critical event date was Zuffa was a near solid 13,000. Injury Cerner sold 150 pay-per-view buys. It rate doubled from the previous UFI events. This card features a headline championship: Tito Ortiz versus Ken Shamrock, who previously left wrestling WWE to go to MMA. It was the first time UFC hit such a big hit mark, underground 1997. UFC 40 generated mainstream attention to ESPN, USTD. But see, if you look at it, took some years to get to this point. They said UFC 40 was due to the marketing outreach power of MMA and pro wrestling, Japan's pride. UFC referee Big John McCarthy said that he felt UFC 40 was going to be the fight that's going to make or break UFC. Despite the UFC success, UFC was still experiencing financial difficulties. By 2004, in a couple of years, they already lost $35 million in losses. But this is what turned them around. So, Facebook usually stepped out the bounds of pay-per-view with the reality show, American Casino. Seeing how CF worked for the promotion vehicle, the brothers thought about doing the UFC the same way, the Ultimate Fighter reality show. Upcoming UFC fighters competing to six-figure UFC contracts, and PET was offered to pay $10 million production costs themselves. They did not find an outlet. In 2005, Spike TV launched a UFC time slot following WWE Raw. This show became an instant success. Khalid and Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bartolo earned a six-figure contract, and that fight was very impressive. The 1.9 overall rating, saving UFC action. On the heels of Griffin Bonner, 2 more seasons compared to 2006, Spike UFC continued to air the seasons all the way to FX 2012. Following its success, UFC launched an hour-weekly UFC Unleashed show. Spike also signed to broadcast UFC Fight Night in 2005, a countdown special promotion of UFC pay-per-view cards. After a very successful run with Spike, UFC did a relationship with Fox. Over a 6-year contract has been incredibly beneficial to both of our brands. We wish the best in the future. UFC's partnership with 14th season moved to FX and aired Friday night fights. So, all the way to that, UFC 40 to I think about 260 now have made lots of growth for purchasing. WEC, Strikeforce, Fox partnership. They have viewer ratings from starting off with doing 40,000 to 5.7 million viewers. Unbelievable. They had Women MMA came in 2012, came around Ronda Rousey, making it very, very popular. Then they started banning steroids with TRT. I remember that being in 2014. Lost a lot of other fighters came in that time. And then a new era in 2016. From that is when WME bought the company for about $4 billion. Then they got a partnership with ESPN, got a partnership with Disney, NBA Global partnership, and then even thought about going public. This was a new one for me when I heard this one. Then they had to deal with the COVID-19 epidemic too. So conversations over eye pokes have been coming in too. But yeah, I wanted just to talk about UFC, things that Dana White had to go through to make his millions. After that sold, remember he owed 9% of that company. So yeah, one thing that too, they had a Reebok deal that came in 2014 that stopped a lot of new things that they used to do. So, but yeah, that's how he made his millions. They sold that $4 billion. He had 9% of the company, averaged to about $500 million. So he made a big chunk from actually coming out with paying nothing out of his pocket at first, but having people that support him with $40 million. So excellent idea. Tell me what you think in the comments. Have a good one.